Hey guys, in this lesson I'm gonna get into phrasing and how you can make some really nice, delicious sounds with your pentatonics. I'm gonna delve a little bit maybe into the diatonic minor as well here with this, but the idea is to get this weeping, crying sound out of your strings. Very much in the style of how Derek Trucks might use a slide, but also how Jimmy Herring might play some of his phrases as well. It's very, very slinky and very, very vocal sounding to me. So without further ado, let's crack on. So we are going to be in the key of E minor pentatonic, and first things I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to be able to see where this scale is, and it'll come up on the diagram just here. So we get that little kink in the tuning there, stops that 3 pattern from happening. There's the 3. So that's the framework we're starting in, but what we're going to do is move up and down. The next thing to look at is we've got that scale bit. We're going to extend this up and we're going to pop onto the 12th fret here, which is a B, which happens to be a 5th of the E minor chord that would live with this. And then the root note of an E would be down here at the 5th fret on the B string. We can actually use other notes as target notes, like the 3rd fret here, that would be a D, which would give us a minor 7th sound. But for today, we're going to target this E here, which is the root note. So here's the lick again. So we can do it in 2 different ways there. So it's quite involved and it involves a bit of strength. So what we have to do is initially use reinforced fingering. And what that means is basically we're using 3 fingers to bend the string. If you try and use 1, it will be weak and you will struggle with this. You also need an opposing force, which is this thumb, which acts as a fulcrum to bend these notes up with. So I'm using these reinforced fingers. Now the thing is, if you have your fingers like this with the gaps in between all vertical like that, you will struggle as well. Stack your fingers like this sideways and let them touch each other and they will work together. I kind of think about this as like, you know, you move into a house and you try and move the sofa or the fridge in on your own. It's no good. You need a couple of mates to help you to get there. So that's what reinforced fingering is about. If you don't have the thumb, then you have no opposing force. So this is why it's really important to get that up there. So the bending part is really strong and it becomes really easy for you to do. So what we're going to do is we're taking this 10th fret on the B string and we're bending it up to the target note here, this B at the 12th fret here. So if I bend this up, and I can compare that to it just by playing that note and making sure that both notes match. And that's a good exercise for bending for your target notes. So if I take that note up again. Now here's the tricky bit. I'm going to bend up. And what I do is I release with my buddies here and I use that pressure of the string pushing down to force me back down to my original position at the 10th fret there. So you can see there what I do is I bend it up to the target note, move that 3rd finger, slide it along, and then slide it back into position. As you heard, I can do it where I can play the E here, or I can play the E here. So I can go, but that's a bit more weepy. And what I'm doing when I land here, I let that note ring. If you are enjoying my lessons here on YouTube, you might consider supporting my work on the channel and purchasing my ultimate guitar lesson book, which has got 80 lessons that are here on my YouTube channel. Let's get back to the video. And I don't pick it again. I'm just sliding it down. And that's what gives me that slinkiness. There's a different target note down there. And you can get it back up here to this note here as well, which is the A. Yeah. Now what can be fun as well is to double bend So just having a double bend, that's a good way to get some extra mileage out of the same idea. So that's only a little thing that you can do there. And you practice that between your pentatonic scale degrees, just bending between them. You can actually make that an exercise in itself, bending up to each target note. Let me show you what I mean by that. So as we mentioned, we've got this note here. Now that note, the next note up to it is this note here. So if I bent this one, that's my target note. Bit harder down here. I'm using just 2 fingers to get that. Right, okay, so we've got that one there. Now this is a big bend because it's a minor third. You have to put some welly on that one. So you can see that that does the cool thing there. Now, this one. And then we're bending up to this note here. So you can see I can do that same principle. So this is the order that it goes. It goes bend, target note above. Then we slide up to the target note, we slide back down, we pull off, and then we slide to the end target note, which is hopefully the end of the phrase or meaningful to the phrase. So there you go, guys. That's how you get that crying sound. Now what you need to do is move this into other keys so that you're not just stuck in one position with it. Once you understand the concepts and the elements that it's made of, which is the bend, slide up to the target note, slide back down to where you started the bend, pull off, then a new target note. There is an anatomy to the idea. If you stick with that and keep on moving that around, then you'll develop some really nice phrasing. And one of the things that was helping me with that phrasing was something that I call elevator triangles, which help you to navigate through all 5 box patterns of your pentatonics. Now, if you want to add that to your soloing vocabulary, then you want to click and watch this video here.